This is a 1970s vintage antique looking needlepoint, and I think I had this up for $40. We originally had it for our farmhouse, but it didn't really fit in the room that we were working on. So we took an offer of $25. This was on a very slow day. Normally, for something that's really cool like this, I would not take an offer, that's basically half price. But it was a very slow day, and I took an offer of $25. I bought it for $2, and it's so cute. And the lady was really excited to have gotten it for her offer, so I'm glad it's going to a good home. This is a vintage Etienne Agner. I'm not sure how you say it. Agner. I sell a ton of her stuff. Mostly shoes. But this is a leather wallet. And it sold for $25. We do really well with wallets. People seem to like finding good quality and unique wallets. So we buy them all the time. Usually for about $1. This is a vintage Caterpillar or Cat brand. They make, dump trucks and bulldozers and things like that. Belt buckle. And it's very cool because it's got this like enamel look to it. There are some of these, not this pattern, but the ones with like the brand like logo that will sell for over $100. So I had this one listed for $120 for a while, several months. And we got an offer, I think they offered like $20, and then we countered at $45 and they took the offer. So I sold this for $45. Again, today was a pretty slow day, so I was happy that someone gave me an offer. This is a wool vintage newsboy cap, newsy cap, by Totes. You can see the brand, Totes. And I've had this newsboy cap for a while. So we took an offer of $20. We get these a lot. They're really cool hats to wear. My dad used to. I think my dad still wears these. So I always just got them because I thought they were cool. So this one sold for $20. A lot of times we can sell them between $30 and $40. These are vintage Lustroware coffee and tea canister. They're just plastic. They definitely have that retro look. Very cool. They're missing the sugar and the flour one, but the coffee and tea I think were cool together. I bought them for $1 each at a yard sale in Boston when I was visiting home, and they sold for $47. This is one of the many Barbies. This is the Polynesian Barbie that we bought at a yard sale for $2. We bought a huge box of them. And they're actually on Amazon Merchant Fulfilled. And we've sold 2 of them. So we sold one that was Ghanaian Barbie from Ghana and Polynesian Barbie. So we got like the international ones. We thought they were kind of cool. And they've sold for about $15 each. Some of them are worth more. Some of them are worth less. But the last 2 have sold for $15 on Amazon. This is a vintage trucker hat. As you can see, it says Prince Albert. I don't know if that's a brand or I know it's several things, but I'm not sure what this is referring to. We just thought it was funny. And it sold for $20, global shipping. This is a cool vintage made in Germany compass. You can put it on your dashboard. It's got a suction cup. It's pretty cool. I put this up since it's totally vintage. It's not digital or anything. I put it up for $30 and it sold to someone in the global shipping program. This is a vintage solid brass wine cork opener made in Italy. Nice patina. And the funny thing is, when this sold, I was like, I can't believe I put that price on there. It sold for $50. And it's definitely vintage. It is old. It's not, a new crappy one. It's definitely solid. So $50. I probably bought it for $1. You got to keep an eye out for these because they always sell. This is a U.S. Army sleeping bag in a stuff sack. And it comes with a bivy sack, which is made out of Gore-Tex. I'm not going to open it up. But we had a whole bunch of these. We bought them in bulk a couple years ago with our military surplus stuff that we were doing. And someone returned this because it had a little tiny bit of stitching that had come undone on the sleeping bag. So I repaired it because I'm pretty good at sewing. And then I relisted it and I sold it for $50 in about a week. So that was good. This is a Dansk Christianshavn. That's the pattern. Candle holder with hurricane globe. Now it's rare to find this intact. Mostly you're only seeing these. I've sold a bunch of these over the years. And those are cool by themselves. And I think you can buy replacements for this somewhere, probably on eBay or replacements.com. But it's rare to find this. I priced mine at $40, and I think I priced it a little bit lower than some of the complete sets because it still had a candle in it. So there's a candle in there that probably needs to get scraped out. So $40, not bad. It's going to be not so fun to pack, but I'm an expert, so it should be okay. This is a vintage cigar box. I don't know how old it is. It's quite large. Most cigar boxes are not this big. It has a marking on the bottom, but it has no date. So I put it up for cheap. It sold for $19. This is a piece of Pendleton wool remnant fabric from the factory. We bought a bunch of fabric from them when we went to Portland. I think it was about 2 years ago. And we've been selling off pieces. This piece is less than a yard, but it's really beautiful. It's got that great stripe. And it sold for $40. Yesterday was a good day for hat sales. As you can see, I sold 3 hats. This is a Madras plaid Tommy Hilfiger hat. And we took an offer of $25 on that. I had 36 on it because Madras plaid is pretty popular. But Jay was like, let's sell it 25. This is a chewing tobacco hat. I think I've shown another chewing tobacco hat that I sold for a lot of money. This one also sold for a lot. It sold for $50. That's a very good price for a hat. This is a Peacekeeper missile hat, and it sold for $30. This is an extra large acrylic Park Rangers sweater, official Park Ranger sweater. It's got the patches on the elbows. The official patches have been taken off here and here. And we live in a place where there's a big national park, so we see these clothes in the thrift store all the time. I listed this yesterday. It sold overnight for $50. And it's just acrylic, so you know that National Park Ranger clothes are quite popular. This is a set of 3 Sabatier French-made steak knives. I'm just going to keep them together in their little package here. They're beautiful. They're like rosewood handles with brass. They just have a really nice shape. And they sold for $50. We love buying and selling knives. They're really fun because you can usually get them for, you know, really cheap because they're just in bins at thrift stores. So if you can find a nice set or a high quality knife for, you know, less than $1 and then sell them for $50, that's great. This is a very nice 2XL Carhartt shirt. It's all cotton and it sold for $20. Pretty good sale. This is a set of 4 funky original artworks that we're selling for a friend. It was some fashion design and some ads for Dillard's, which I had never heard of, but Jay told me it was a department store. And it sold for $60. And it went to the UK, and since the UK is not on global shipping for artwork, they paid for priority, and they paid $75 to ship this because it goes in quite a large piece of cardboard, as you can see here. And it gets pretty heavy with the cardboard and the size, so that was an interesting sale. This is part of our military surplus of sleeping bags. We had a bunch of extra compression sacks. For the sleeping bags, they have these straps. This sold for $10. We had, in total, about 50 of them. Somebody, when I first listed them, bought about 25 outright. So he paid about $250 for all of them. And then we had a bunch left over, and they've been selling at $10 each to individuals. So this is a pair of pants that we bought in bulk a couple years ago from the military auction. They are navy pants. They are size 20p for women. We bought like so many of these, literally like 500 to 1,000 pairs of these. They were so cheap. Because we have so many of them, and they're like, you know, they're work pants. They're not fancy, you know, nice pants or anything. But they are sturdy work pants. We price them at literally $1 a piece because we have so many of them. So it's always kind of good and kind of sad when a pair sells because it's only $1 sale. As we've said before, we do really well with hats. This is a vintage 80s or 90s. They call it a Zubaz when it has this like tiger print on the front, and people collect them. So this sold on Bonanza for $40. So remember, when you sell on Bonanza, make sure you go end it on eBay. So I did that the first thing when I woke up this morning. This is a fancy brand of crab knife. You can see it says crab knife. On the other side, it says Carvel Hall. These are specialty knives used to cut open crabs. And not surprisingly, I sold it to someone in Maryland. I've seen sets of these go for a lot of money, so I priced this one at $19, and it sold. Pretty good for just a little knife. And that's it for this week. Bye!